Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Should be another great day in the markets, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, looks like we're having some more crazy price action overnight. My goodness. Hey, Jesse. Morning, Burger. Morning, Squid. Hey, Sean. Morning, AOD. Yeah, a ton of bars printing already. Curious to see all this volume overnight. The ATR is extremely huge too. Nearly 9 points on the S&P. That's nuts, man. I'm scrolling to see if there's any news. This is definitely news kind of action. This is not just your regular action. Hey, morning, Juan. Morning, Neil. Hey, Diego. Yeah, seriously, Daryl. Crazy ATR right now. This could be a pretty bloody day here, ladies and gentlemen. Swinging calls over the weekend was a bad idea. Yes, it was. Don't try to pick bottoms. Morning, Toad. Market is about to open up here, and this is going to be a crazy volatile day, guys. So buckle up and be very careful. This is a huge ATR. And the Nasdaq not as crazy, I would say. A lot more of a muted overnight action. Quite a bit stronger too. You'll see we have here, hold on one sec. So we have this move down, sorry. This move down with an overshoot that led to a correction. So here's the lowest point, and here we made a higher low double bottom. Compare that to ES, which here's that low, that first low on the ES right here. And then instead of making a higher low, we made way lower of a low, like 80 points down. So Nasdaq incredibly strong. Morning, Tom. Yes, indeed. Pressing that like button would be much appreciated. We got closing in on 50 people here, only 9 likes. Make it part of your morning routine, you know? Start a new healthy habit. Smashing that like button. Hola, Donna, from Puerto Rico. Good morning to you, or whatever time it is, afternoon, something. So, oh, 9:30 a.m. in Puerto Rico. Okay, so East Coast time. Right on. Yes, thank you, Martin. We do have some news going down here in about 20 minutes. 25 minutes. And I'm not seeing a really solid pattern yet for the day. I mean, extremely volatile, obviously, but there's no specific trend right now, especially on the Nasdaq. On the Nasdaq, it looks like we're set to bounce here. Yeah, we do have final services PMI here at 9:45. Here in 10 minutes. Not going to be as important as the 10 o'clock news, but still a good idea to hold off a bit, especially on how volatile it is. Let it settle down a bit. Yeah, this is the kind of day already, you know ahead of time that, like, you know, if I just skip today, it's probably going to be okay. It'll be, you know, if the setup occurs, it'll be either win really big or lose really big. So, it could be a great day, depending on, you know, depending on the trade you take. But that's up to you if you want to take that risk or not. Yeah, this movement is violent. This is sketch price action. I want to see a little bit here. I want to see this develop a little bit before I really make any trading decisions. You know, this may be just one massive freaking down channel. Something like this. Very possible. Doesn't look like this particular pattern on the Nasdaq, but on the ES, this could be what we're working with here. Yeah, that's a good way to think about it, Jesse. There's a high probability that's a no trade day today, and that's okay. That is okay. Think about it this way. What would you rather have? Would you rather have a day where you skip trades, you know, and end up the day flat? Or, you know, let's say some really good trade sets up and you skip it and it ends up being really good. It would have ended up being a big winner. Would you rather have that, or you skip a really good trade, or where you take a trade and it ends up a loser and it's a huge loser? Maybe blowing up an eval, maybe putting your funded account in danger. I know for me the answer is pretty easy. But yeah, the average bar is about 6 points right now. So that's like losing $300 per contract on ES. On the Nasdaq, it's 50 points. So that's like losing nearly $1,000 per contract. So that's a lot of risk. That is a lot of risk. Jump change, $1,000 per contract. Who cares, you know? Code, that's not a bad idea, just switching to micros today. OBO. We'll see. We don't know if it's going to be a crash yet. When everyone thinks that, that's usually when it's not, so. But yeah, some news out of Japan, dropping 11%. What we do know is it's making it volatile. Yeah, that's a great way to think about it, Tom. We're getting a nice move up here on SPY. And this channel is a little bit too big to draw, so I'd be careful on this one, but we are clearly have a bullish bias for the last hour or so. So there's always time for reclining, my friend. That's how you're gonna have longevity in this game. It's crazy, guys. I'm hearing reports that some brokers are going down. Thinkorswim currently having some problems. Yeah, this is a volatile. This is a crazy environment. So just be very cautious. We have this uptrend, possibility of a second entry long here. But nope, EMA not holding, so we got a quick answer on that one. Again, I'm just sitting this thing out until we have something pretty clear. On the ES, it looks like we may be closing in on a move down. You know, in these big downtrends, when you see this wider support going up, that's usually very weak and is more likely to break than hold. So I'm kind of anticipating us coming down to this and then just busting through, having something like that. That's kind of what I'm watching for right now. And on the Nasdaq, we had 2 legs up already of this bullish move. 1 leg, 2 legs, so expecting a move down. We got news here in 2 minutes.
I know it sounds silly, dear, but do it for me, please.
The EMA is kind of holding on the Nasdaq. This wasn't the second leg up. This would be a tempting second entry long here. I mean, you could play the wider channel, but I'm not going to be doing that on a day like today. If you're more risk friendly, here's your setup right here. Second entry long. Nice bullish bar on the EMA. No big deal. You only have to risk 98 points, 100 points. No problem. Looks like the trend is holding there on ES2. We can come back and get a higher low. I might be interested in taking a trade. Already looks like we're going to get a new high of this uptrend, but if we were to come back here, get one more little bullish bar like that. I will say this though, guys, this is a great environment to pass some evaluations. With how big the ATR is, you don't even need to wait for a news event. Just wait for like one good looking trade and size up. You're gonna pass in one deal. So that is one good thing about this volatility. Really good for passing evals. But if you're in the funded account, I would I'd be really defensive. Guard your capital. New high on the Nasdaq, on the S&P as well. This uptrend has been pretty, again, not super reliable, so just waiting for either a very obvious uptrend to appear or a reversal here that we can start playing towards the downside. Consolidating here on the ES. Could set up into a little range. Nasdaq steadily working higher. We might have to adopt a wider trend, and as I mentioned earlier, the Nasdaq has been substantially stronger than the S&P overnight. So we'll go with that for now on the Nas. Looks pretty decent. Yeah, Toad, as I was saying earlier, that's usually what happens. If everybody thinks the market's going down, if all the retail traders think the market's going down, that's usually when it goes up. You have to be very, very careful about that. That's why we wait for confirmation. But this might set up a good long here. So zooming in, yeah, the market keeps climbing higher. Again, the Nasdaq is really strong, so we can consider a long. We do have news here in 8 minutes though, so we're gonna have to wait until that settles down. Could be setting up for a good long, or this news could absolutely just destroy everything. We'll see. Little move down going on the S&P. Remember what I said, in these big moves down, these wider counter trends are more likely to fail. So watch as, and it may even happen on the news, watch as we come down to test this line. And the most likely scenario when we get there is a drop through it and then continuation. So watch for that. May happen on the news. News coming here, guys, in less than 2 minutes. We're right at the trend line on the S&P. We'll see how reliable it is. Would not be taking any trades here. We need to see some more action. We need to get out of this news volatility. And it should be pretty volatile with how the market has been this morning. The Nasdaq has been strong. If the Nasdaq starts to turn weak, it really could drop this market. Morning, Tiago. And here's the news. So far, looking positive, I would say. Yeah, ISM services coming in pretty much right in line with expectations. So far, looks like the market is viewing that as a positive. You will notice that the ES did bounce directly off that trend line. So that continues to confirm, and once this news settles down, we can somewhat safely start to look for longs. Alright, so let's see if we can get a pullback here and perhaps start looking at a long. Alright, we are starting to get that pullback here, guys. See how it looks. Let's see if the EMA holds. With this spike up, it's likely that we could get a larger correction down. So, not holding my breath here. The Nasdaq is still far away from its EMA. Look at the difference between the S&P challenging the EMA here and then the Nasdaq. Still, we'll see where are we at, like 73 points from the EMA, so that has a lot of ways to go to the downside. So I would not really be interested in an ES long until that gets closer. I really hope you guys are heeding my advice, heeding wisdom. I'm sure, probably in the back of your mind anyway, this is not a good environment to just be throwing trades on, so I'm really hoping that no one here is struggling, blowing up, going crazy. If you had a big win today, that doesn't mean that it was good. Doesn't mean it was a good trade or that you should try again. Just mellow out, relax, let the setups come to you. And just as I thought, the ES more room to the downside with the Nasdaq being so far away from the EMA, but now the Nasdaq is getting closer, so let's watch this, see if this holds at all. The 3 R's, recline, recline, recline. Hey, I think we would all do better if we just reclined a little bit during the market. Make sure, guys, again, if you're appreciating the stream, if this has been at all helpful to you, just hit that like button, feed the algorithm, and also if you're not subscribed to the channel, definitely do it. Stream live every day, be up to date on the latest content, etc., etc. So good to see some more folks in the stream today. And yeah, welcome. Hope you guys enjoy, and you'll find this is a good group of traders. The friendliest chat on YouTube, I'll say that. No trolls allowed. Here we are at that trend line again. And pardon me, any one of these touches could be the moment where we get that big break of the trend line. Again, in this big downtrend, these wider uptrends are not super reliable. See how the market reacts here. Getting below that trend line, and we're right at it on the Nasdaq. Yeah, just another 200-point move. Don't even worry about it. It's starting to look like a bit of a wider downtrend. That uptrend line not holding. I'd be much more inclined to take a position on the short side. That'd be a lot better in this kind of environment. But the action dying down a little bit, not as crazy volatile. Looks like Nasdaq may have a break in new low here. So look for a bounce. On the S&P, we're just now going to be testing this downtrend here on this pullback. Okay, here we are on the ES, looking at this pullback, seeing if we can get a nice second entry. I may be interested in a short here. The Nasdaq looking strong though, so have to be cautious of that. We have one entry. Let's see if this holds right here and we get a bearish bar. But I don't think it's going to happen just with the way the Nasdaq is looking. There's a close below, so now we would need to see a push below and a lower high in order to be convinced on a trade. See if the EMA holds here. Market maybe getting support there. Okay, there's our push down. Right on. Let's see if we can get a lower high. Might have to be quick on this. With how the market's moving, the setup might happen really fast. So here we go. Let's watch for it. Already ticked higher. See if we can get a lower high. Nope. Big close above the EMA. We will have to hold off yet again. But now this uptrend does look like it has a break and a new high. Still may need to go down. Waiting on a lower high here. Okay, we ticked above. Let's see if we can get a lower high. Has to print really nice for me to consider. Nope, another close above. Can't do it. This bar could be it though. See if it turns down. Still another close above. A little bit sketchy. A lot of wicks at the top there. A lot of stops are there. Yep, I was just about to say this is about to burst up through those stops. On the Nasdaq, it looks like this uptrend is still holding, and this is our second move towards that new high, so I would be interested in a long on the Nasdaq if we can pull back a little bit here. Pretty decent failed second entry short actually on the Nas, but I don't think the ES was really supporting that move. We did have a first entry right here, a second entry right here, nice failure, nice bullish bar above the EMA. But the short was looking good on the ES, so when you have that kind of divergence going on, best just to hold off either way. So again, hey, if the EMA holds here and we get 2 legs back on the Nasdaq, I will consider a long. It's not what I would prefer to trade today, but you got to take what the market's giving you. We have made a little bit of progress into the gap here. And let's see where that is. We still have quite a ways to go, but yeah, the market may look to go fill it. We'll see. It's a pretty wide uptrend for the S&P. I wouldn't really favor it. But this little second entry may work. As I said, I'd rather trade it on the Nasdaq, as the Nas has been a lot stronger today. Yes, dropping a little bit. No real way to enter that. We were above the EMA. This thing starts to get going to the downside, could get ugly. We've had a little bit of hope for bottom pickers, but if that starts to break, people will quickly exit their positions, and which would of course fuel a move to the downside. Pretty early in the day, but this is a VWAP on SPY. And the VWAP for the Nasdaq is below just a little bit. Yeah, that's true, Jesse. You gotta have faders. Sorry, Toad. I was just busy dropping some major wisdom. Thought it was a little bit too good for unmuting my microphone. Too advanced. Way too advanced. You guys aren't ready for it yet. No, I was just saying Jesse's dropping some gold nuggets there. We could use that reminder every few minutes in this market environment. Hey guys, this is really freaking dangerous. It's easy to forget if you're just looking at the chart, but man oh man. ATR of 46 on the Nasdaq. Again, that's nearly 1,000-point risk on one contract. Yeah, let's trade some nano contracts today. One nano contract over 20 accounts. Yeah, the 20 funded accounts today can be a make or break. Either be incredibly rewarding or super devastating, so. Look at this pattern on the ES. Somewhat of a head and shoulders. Got your shoulders. Your head. And he doesn't really know what's going on. So, you know, usually this indicates a direction, but this is obviously a confused head and shoulders pattern. Like I said, if we start to get going to the downside, this could be pretty brutal. This thing could really take off. That's very true, Toad. You're not gonna have to be too patient on setups. You'll take them and then you'll know. You'll know if you screwed up or not. And now we have reached a new low on this downtrend of S&P. Move down, break new low. See if this means we bounce here. SPY did get below VWAP barely, and now we're coming back to test it. On the Qs, same deal. We're kind of resting on VWAP here. If this keeps going down, we may have a possible wider channel on the S&P. Not going there yet, but that is a possibility. On the Nasdaq, doesn't really look like it unless we have the start of a really massive downtrend, but this isn't super strong to the downside just yet. Yeah, Steve, not a good day to start on indice futures. That's for sure. Nice little spike up here off of the VWAP on the Qs. Spike up over the VWAP on SPY. Quite the spike up here. Buyers keep stepping up. Every time there's a little bit of selling pressure, buyers step up to the plate, so we could get a decent long entry here if we get a pullback in the EMA holds. But also with this direct bounce up, that could lead to a V-shaped reversal. Keep that in mind. Wow, Top Step's not even allowing people to trade today. Nuts. And it would be wise, as we've discussed. That is one pro with Apex, as long as you are disciplined, as you can trade on days like today. And again, this is a perfect environment for passing evals, so that's something you're interested in, want to get funded. The link is, I believe, in the description. You can use my code if you want to support the channel. Yeah, you can get still get the biggest account for 40 bucks. That's a screaming deal. Does not look like the EMA is holding yet. Another pop up. Diego calling out the range day. Yeah, it is getting rangy, but this environment has the chance to be very expansive. So yes, over the last, let's say, over the last half an hour, maybe even longer, let's say an hour. Last hour it's been kind of range-like, but this could easily break out to one side or the other. Starting to get that drop on the S&P. We'll be watching the swing low pretty close. Also watching the VWAP on SPY and QQQ. That continues holding a support. We shouldn't really think about taking a short. Yeah, until we like have a really strong move one way or the other, best to stay out pretty much in a range here again for the last hour. And really both directions are quite possible right now, so I don't think it's really helpful to pick either a long or a short just yet. We'll just need to wait for confirmation from the market. And good thing, especially on a day like today, it's going to be pretty obvious where we're headed. So if it's bullish, you're going to know. If it's bearish, you're going to know. The trick is just staying flat, conserving your capital until it is really obvious. Dystopian future postponed. Well, we'll see. We still have a chance for the dystopian future to start to take place. But yeah, big range on the Nasdaq here. Till it breaks out of that one way or the other. Not really interested in this. What that would look like. The downside, I would need to see something like this. And to the upside, I would need to see something like this. It's the only way I'd be trading in this market right now. Am I a cliner or a recliner? I like to climb multiple times, so I recline. Hey Deborah, good morning. Alright, party people. Well, like I said, we need to wait for something very obvious outside of this range area. If we're still between these 2 points on the ES, that would be like 51.92 to the downside and 52.28 to the upside. If we're still between those 2 points, would not advise taking a trade. And on the Nasdaq too, between 17,862 on the downside and 180.99 on the upside, just stay out of that. It's just chop zone. This high ATR, you're just gonna lose money, get chopped up, get eaten on commissions, all that nonsense. So yeah, stay out of that. Wait till the market really breaks out to one side or the other and we have an obvious visual direction. So until that happens, I'm chilling, but should be a decent day, hopefully, knock on wood. So I'm gonna head over to the Discord to trade the rest of the day. I will see many of you over there. Looking forward to trading with you guys. Everyone else, stay safe, please. Don't risk your capital today. If it's a no trade day today, that's totally fine, totally acceptable. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Looking forward to this week, and I will see you on stream tomorrow. Take care, everyone.